when starting any containers within inside of a Docker Compose file or a YAML file, all of your services or your containers and your volumes and your networks will be prefixed with a name. And if you want to know how this name comes about or how you can change this name, this is the perfect video for you. So inside of this development.yaml file that I have, you can see here that I have a service of db1. I then have a volume of MariaDB underscore volume, and I have a network of local underscore dev. Now, each of these volume and also the networks have names because I want them to be a little bit more specific. Okay, but the DB1 does not have a name here. So let's just go ahead and say Docker Compose, and we have to say -f to tell it what's the YAML file that we're going to be used. Just because I haven't got a docker-compose.yaml file. All right. Because the whole point of this is I can be able to have all different YAML files inside of a Docker files directory. And if I then say up and -d, it will start everything. So if we just say docker ps-a, you can see here that we've got the name of my MariaDB here is Docker files -db-1. All right. Now, where did this Docker files come from? Well, it came from the parent directory. And you can see here we're in the Docker files directory. And if we just show you again here, you can see here I'm in the Docker files directory. Now, if I was to rename this Docker files directory, it would then basically use that. I'm not going to, it's in the description here. So how can we change this? Well, let's just get rid of these containers, right? So we can say Docker compose. We need to say F with development, and we'll say down. Whoops. -V to remove any volumes, and just say remove orphans just for the sake of removing everything that we need to have removed. Now docker ps-a, and we can see that there's no containers running at all. So if we now add a name to our container here, and we'll say db1, and we do the docker up once again, that's the one there, do docker up once again. Oh, yeah, we need, excuse me, we need a container name. These are two different things, and we say up again, and we run in docker ps here. You can see we've overridden this individual container name, but all of the networks, for example, will, let's just say networks list, whoops. If we say network list, you can see here that we've got local underscore dev network because I've given this a name as well, right? But if we don't give stuff names, and let's just bring everything down again, so -f development, -v, and bring it all down again, and let's do this again, and we'll say docker network remove, and local network, that's now gone, and we can bring this. So we want to remove the name from this. There, def up. We can say here and then run in the background. We run this again, and now we can say network list. You can now see we have docker-files underscore local dev because basically anything that doesn't have a name on it or a container name is going to use this prefixed here with their actual container name or the volume, the network, or the container. Okay, so we can override this. So let's just bring this back down again. And, bring that down, and then docker network remove, and just do this here. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, then why are you still there? Okay, it went down. Sorry. Okay, so it did disappear. Just me getting confused there. So if we want to be able to have this prefix how we want, then we can just come up here. This is option number 1, all right? And here we can say development. And this will now override that setting in this Docker file setting. So if we say here once again, and docker compose -f development.yaml up -d-d. Now we say network list. You can see here we've got development underscore local dev. And when we see docker ps-a, we can see db1 again. But if we remove the db1 and we say down -v, remove orphans, orphans, and we run this again, it's all gone. Now let's put it back up again and do dash here, and you can see here development -db1 -1. All right, so this is now showing you how you can actually override this. Now obviously it's not, if we look at the container list, whoops, container ls, you can see here that we've got the containers there. So this is just a nicer way how you can always know one, how to name your containers is add in a container name here to override anything that's going to happen. Two, how to name your networks. So you always know that you've got a default, you always know that you've got some way of programmatically accessing your network as well. And also then your volumes, because you don't necessarily want to have the parent directory dictate what the container names should be. Okay, so there is another option of doing this, and this would then be using when you say docker compose up. Here you could then say the -p, all right? But this is going to override this. So this, if you haven't got this name inside there, the -p is going to do this for you explicitly when you say docker compose up. It's going to add that one prefix to all of the containers, etc., etc. If you haven't already, if you haven't specified a container underscore name or a name for a network or a name for a volume, then it will receive that. It will receive that prefix. Okay, so -p and then followed by the name that you want to have. Otherwise, you can update it with inside of your config file as well. But there you have to give your explicit, your absolute path. Sorry, my mistake. So you have to say your absolute path to the YAML file, and there you can update it. But the easiest way is to add the name to the YAML file, or otherwise then add the name to the -p. And if you don't want to have a blanket name or prefix, then just make sure you name every single container, network or volume like that service basically as well. With that said, I hope this has been assistance to you. If you couldn't find it in the documentation, then I understand it can sometimes be slightly annoying. It's under specify a project name. Here you can see the -p. You can set it in an environment variable as well, the top level name. You can see here, so the -p will override everything here. And then the base project directory as well. Yeah, so you can see that if you still want to override that one file, then the -p is the stronger, Otherwise, then the environment variable, and then the name property. So it can be overridden too. All right. With that said, yeah, if you did get something out of this content, then it would be really nice if you could give it a like, share it to other people that maybe you think could find this project or would find this video helpful too. Otherwise, if you want to be notified of any future videos that I make, be warned I make all different types of videos. Some videos are drone videos, some about my life living in Germany, some about some other topics that I haven't thought of yet. But if you just generally want to be notified when I personally add videos to my own channel, then feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, just don't subscribe. It's perfectly fine too. The sheer fact that you're listening through to the end is already something that I'm really, really happy about. So with that said, if you do have any questions, feedback, concerns, let's start a conversation in the comment section down below, and I will try my hardest to answer that question for you. And if I can't answer it textually, then I will probably make a video about it instead, because it's better to describe it in full than just give it a short answer. Thanks very much for watching. My name's David Thorne. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.